Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man Rico. Y'all check out my shirt here. It says Black Men, how's your mental health? I know tonight I had a show planned to talk about child support and the legalities and emotions and all the things that go on with child support, but that show has been rescheduled for another date. So tonight I'm not doing the child support. I'm not doing the child support show on my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. Tonight instead at 7 p.m. I've switched it up because you know how stuff just changes to talk about black men's mental health. And I want to invite all of you to come on. No, brothers, y'all come on in. Let's have a conversation. I'm not going to have a guest. It's just going to be me talking to you. I have the link where you can click on if you like to share your stories or what's going on with you. Because the pandemic is real, regardless if you want to think the virus is real or not. I stopped debating that a long time ago. That's why I'm here in this beautiful park in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just chilling and just kind of reflecting. And with all the stuff that's going on, and it's just something just hit me. It's time for me to have a conversation with black men about what's going on with us. Contrary to popular belief, you know, we've hearing this narrative that black women need to be protected. Sure. But let's talk about the people who are not protected ever, and that is black boys and black men. And that has been weighed heavily on our mental health. And so I want to invite brothers to come on because I plan to bring up PTSD, depression, even bipolar disorder, if you want to talk about that, all the things that dictate our mood and our behavior, and also our reactions to the things that are going on right now. We've watched in the last few, just even a good 2 weeks, brother gets shot 7 times in the back. Another black man shot in the back on a bicycle. Another brother just in Rochester, New York, up there in that area, he was smothered. You know, and when you constantly watch these kind of things, it's a form of reinforced trauma, and I want to know exactly how it is affecting and how it has impacted the mental health of black men and black boys. I know it has to affect us, but you know we're known for just keeping things in and not really talking about it. You know, it's almost as if we're trained to do that. You know, suck it up. Boys don't cry. Men don't hurt. And and so we grow up in adulthood. We keep all this stuff in. But it's interesting when we lash out at each other and try to hurt each other, other men, other black boys. And it's just time to have that conversation. And I want to invite everybody to come on down tonight on my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist, and let's talk about it. Everyone's invited to the conversation, but I'm really interested in hearing what men have to say, what African American men have to say about this, and let me remind everybody who's been on my pages, and I talk a lot about politics. I talk a lot about male-female relationships, but most importantly, I talk about the plight of black men and black boys, because that is a subject that's hardly ever broached, if you will, in this society, unless you're talking about how black men are incarcerated or how black men are not, quote unquote, taking care of their children when the statistics show differently. But I want to talk about how we feel on the inside and what's going on with us. I am a firm believer, I even have facts to prove this, that black men and black boys are human beings. But somehow, somewhere, we've been taught that we are not human beings. And we tend to behave that way, and I find it to be very alarming, to say the least, that we don't act as if we're human beings. We're not afraid. We're told that we're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to express humiliation, embarrassment, neglect, abandonment, hurt feelings. We're not supposed to express any of those things. The only emotion that appears to be allowed because it has some semblance of masculinity to it, and that is anger. And I want us to talk about all of that as well tonight. And let me give a little background of who I am. I know, again, I talk about a lot of other subjects, but what's near and dear to my heart, and what I try not to ever neglect too much, that is, I am a master's level social worker. over 20 years in the game, graduate of Grambling State University. My undergrad is a psychology degree and it's a criminal justice degree, bachelor's, BS, and I have my master's degree in social work. My concentration in social work was health, mental health. And for the past 24 years, I've worked in both mental health as well as substance abuse and addiction. Worked as a counselor, residential treatment, as well as outpatient. And in those groups, I facilitated therapy groups, educational groups on substance abuse, anger, batteries intervention, marijuana intervention, you name it. I've also worked as a residential therapist, who long-term or short-term treatment. So I've been inside as well as outside. And I figured out at least 5 years ago, that my main focus should be on black men because there aren't too many other entities that focus on the existence of black men and black boys. Even though we've had scholars to write about them, Dr. Naeem Akbar, Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, Michael Porter, Dr. Amos Wilson, and the list goes on of doctors Nathan and Julia Hare. They wrote about it, but we won't go back and read about it. And so it's up to us to be cheerleaders and spokespersons, those of us who are black men. It's up to us to tell our story. It's up to us to be concerned about us. And so my YouTube channel is dedicated to that. I want to hear what other black men have to say. I want to hear us express ourselves in a way that we are not allowed to in other spaces, because if it were not for social media, a lot of black men wouldn't have anywhere else to go. So social media has allowed black men to finally have a space, because getting on talk shows talking about what's happening to us, what's going on with us, is not allowed. Y'all know since the 80s, they've had a few brothers on there, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan, and I've even seen Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu on Donahue, this one show. But for the most part, they've always made a stage for women, for black women. And then you hear them scream more, they need more. They need more spaces. Well, goddamn, y'all, and that's cool. But it's now it's time for black men to do it, and we have to really get serious about this. And I want to use my degree, my over 20 years of education to do my part. And then if it were not for social media, we wouldn't have places to have groups of men who are finally waking up and standing up for each other. They call it the Black Manosphere. You have brothers in there. Kevin Samuels, you have a brother by the name of Coach Greg Adams, Donovan Jackson, attorney Dennis Sperling, who else? Minister Japp, the Thinking Man's Templar. You have a lot of Judge Joe Brown, believe it or not. Yeah, Judge Joe Brown speaks highly in favor of or in support of black men. And so I just try to do my part to add the mental health aspect of it. They add the social and the political and the legislative aspect of it, and the social, I guess. And I want to add my contribution is the mental health part of black men and who we are. And so I want to invite you to partake in the conversation tonight at 7 p.m. on my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. Is on this live that you're watching, and I want us to continue to grow, and I want to do my part to help. Even outside of the politics, my main goal is to make sure that we're doing fine as black men, and our boys are doing fine. Because you can't have a society without men. I don't care what the politics are, this feminist narrative, we hate men, jargon, all this foolishness. You can't have a successful society, a protected society, a secure society without men and boys, without boys growing up to be mature, strong men. Because right now, it's open season. There's always been open season on black boys, though. There's always been open season on black men. All you have to do is go back in history and go back as far as 2 weeks ago or hell, last week. There's always open season. And people tend to be shocked about it and they move on. But then something happens to anybody else, all of a sudden we have to pass laws to make sure it never happens again. And so I want to know how brothers been feeling. And the pandemic is real. There are people who are out, but a lot of people who are shut in. There are a lot of people who are going through depression. A lot of brothers who are going through depression but won't talk about it. A lot of brothers whose bipolar disorder, diagnosed or undiagnosed, is acting up because they refuse to take the medication. A lot of brothers who probably have schizophrenia. A lot of our brothers who participated in one of the wars, PTSD, and most importantly, living as a black man in America, constantly harassed, constantly under someone's microscope. That in itself, with all the brutality that's done to black boys and black men, that brings about PTSD. We have to talk about it. I want to talk about it, and I want you to join me. Everyone's invited, but I want to hear what black men have to say. Look at this. Eric, what's up, brother? Who else is in here? Let me raise my shades up so I can see who you are. Mr. Donaldson, what's going on? See, I'll share this live to everybody who you know, and share it. Just come on in tonight. I appreciate it. I'm not going to hold y'all long. I just want to let y'all know what I was up to. I'm always finding me a cool park with some water in it to walk around and get my thoughts. I'm always, because I love parks. One thing about the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it has a lot of beautiful parks. And I can always find one. As soon as I get in the car, boom, there's one right there. And this one has a nice little flowing body of water going all the way around it, so it's pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to finish up my smoothie. And hope to see y'all tonight. I'm going to share this live. And I hope you do the same. Those of you who tuned in just for this brief moment, I appreciate you. And we'll talk later, all right? See y'all tonight at 7 on my Rico the Opinionist YouTube channel. Peace. What kind of peace? Let me get in the shade first before I lock it down. One thing about it, got some cool shade breaks down here too. Plenty of trees, really nice. Anyway, y'all be cool. We'll talk later.